What we really want to see happen is the community just be more aware of how we can age well in our community and how to get these services to the folks earlier.
Yeah, we know that communities that serve older adults really well typically serve everyone really well.
The following is a Big Sky Economic Development production.
Welcome to The Vault, a Montana-based business podcast where we highlight the people and ideas driving our region forward. I'm your host, Marcel Bruschi.
You're listening to The Vault.
Joining us today on The Vault is Tyler and Erika with Allies in Aging, Adult Resource Alliance, and Big Sky Senior Services recently merged and are now Allies in Aging, and they're going to talk to us all about it today. So welcome, Erika and Tyler.
Thank you for having us. This is awesome.
Yeah, we're excited. So let's just get our audience to get to know you a little bit. Erika, we'll start with you. Just a little bit of background on you.
Oh, gosh. Okay. I've been in this community. I was born and raised in this community, so I feel like people know who I am.
Yeah, I think we all,
So just been involved in this community for a number of years, mostly in the social service world. And I left nonprofits 2 times for the private sector, which was a great contrast to my social work heart. And so here I am back in really what is the best job I've ever had. Mm-hmm. So 2 kids, I raised 2 kids here in Billings. Neither of them live here. They live far away. And but this is my home. I live in Red Lodge now, so I commute to Billings for work, but worth every minute of that drive.
It's a stunning drive.
It's great.
Yeah.
Lots of time for podcasts too. So
I listen to lots of podcasts and do a lot of phone calls.
I bet you can, like, just in that hour. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get a lot done.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Tyler, what about you?
Yeah. So I grew up in Helena and served for 10 years as a Methodist pastor in Helena and Billings before jumping into nonprofit work. And when I was looking at possibly making a change, most of us do that after COVID. That was kind of the thing.
Yeah. We're all like, what is going on with our lives? Okay. Yeah.
Exactly. I was on the board at Big Sky Senior Services, and they were looking for a new executive director. And without knowing, the current executive director said, you should try this out and see how it works. And lo and behold, that's how I'm here today. And
congrats.
Serving a great population alongside Erika. And this has been a cool partnership for both of us too. So
yeah. And we want to get into Allies in Aging, but I think I mentioned it a little bit in the intro, but you each were with different entities. So do you want to talk a little bit about what they were and what, like, the really mission and services that those entities provided?
Sure.
We'll start with Tyler this time.
Big Sky we'll go back and forth. It'll be good. So Big Sky Senior Services provided what I always referred to as in-home low-cost services for senior citizens, and really focused on the low-income folks in our community with the in-home care. So the in-home care was our biggest program. Worked to get in-home care at a base level that was about $10 an hour under the market rate in the community. Wow. And then slide that scale all the way down to about $2.60 an hour if folks really couldn't afford it. And that was caregivers who went and did cooking, cleaning, and personal care for folks in the home. That was our biggest program. The other big program we had was a payee program. So if folks were getting defrauded or facing financial challenges, we help them pay their bills, make sure they're taken care of with case management. So those were our big programs, really helping folks out. We had some other things we did, like dementia-friendly billings, helping educate folks in the community about dementia. But really, Big Sky was a coming together of multiple actual nonprofits along the way to make a organization that was serving that low-income in-home population in our community.
And how long had it been around?
So Big Sky as an entity itself was started in 2005. Wow. The program that kicked it all off, the in-home care, started in 1977.
And how is that? I mean, just curious, like, how's that paid? Because that's a huge service, and I think a lot of our population needs it and is going to need things like that. Yeah. How is it funded? Can we ask that?
So there was a lovely act passed in our federal government called the Older Americans Act back in 1965. Okay. and it created state and federal funding streams that support a lot of the programs I just talked about, but also some of the ones Eric's going to talk about with the Adult Resource Alliance. So.
Wow. And team members, like how many team members did you usually have roughly?
Yeah, we had between 25 and 30 on our team. So
that's a good sized team.
Yeah, it was a great team. They were awesome. They're also part of what made this all happen. So
yeah.
Still part of the team.
Exactly.
They're still on the team. Erika, what about you?
Yeah, so let's see. That's what's so great about this merger, Marcel, is that we were not duplicating services at all. Like very few programs. I mean, I don't think we had maybe one program that had a little tiny bit of overlap. But Adult Resource Alliance was not historically doing anything that Big Sky Senior Services was doing, and vice versa. So that's really, really cool. So the Adult Resource Alliance really focuses on feeding people. We have 11 different meal sites where we feed people in the county. And then we also do Meals on Wheels for the full county. So thousands of meals every week where we're feeding people who can't get out of their house. And the goal of that is really to help people. I mean, the food's great.
Right.
And that's a wonderful benefit, but it's mostly about getting them to socially connect, giving people a place to see each other and talk to each other and share experiences. And
is that 3 meals a day? Like just
we do a lunch program. So we do a senior lunch program that includes some level of frozen meals for the weekends and that kind of thing.
That's really nice.
Yeah. And then another big part of what we do is a volunteer-led program. So I call it's kind of like a win-win program, because when people retire, people are looking to stay engaged and involved and to still feel like there's purpose. And so we have 300 plus volunteers.
That's a lot of volunteers.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. And they're really like the force behind us being able to provide such effective services. I think as a whole, as allies, the Adult Resource Alliance had that program existing. And so we've just been able to kind of wrap it into everything. And then with that volunteer group, we're able to provide some in-home services at no cost.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which was really helpful in just helping people stay in their homes for as long as possible and then thrive in doing that. That's our goal. So.
Wow. So you have those programs and again, kind of what I asked Tyler, how's that funded?
So very similar funding. So the same Older American Act that helped start what became Big Sky Senior Services, helped to start what was called the Yellowstone County Council on Aging. And we're actually in our 50th year. So we're celebrating that.
Yeah, celebrate 50 years. That's huge.
Yeah, all of us, we all are kind of celebrating.
Now. That's great.
Yeah. So a lot of that same funding, so state, federal. What the Adult Resource Alliance is very fortunate to have, and we'll thank the taxpayers right now for this, is that we get 100% of the senior mill levy money. So we work real closely with the county commissioners, but that's a very sustainable, solid funding for us. So it really helps to keep our programs going. That at a federal and state level, these services haven't been funded in a way that's sustainable, because this is what I'll say. And so we can't just rely on, we're grateful for federal and state.
But the county's really
without the county,
partner.
And they partner strong, really strong. So.
Wow. So you're doing those. Are there other programmings and things that you're doing, team size?
Yeah. So Alliance was at about 50. We've gone to between 75 and 80. We feel it's fun. Our buildings are super fun and busy. Yeah, we're working on there's a lot of unmet needs, and I'm sure Tyler will get into this a little bit more. But there's a lot of gaps that we know we need to fill. Some of you already mentioned that, this is the fastest growing population, is this aging population, our older adults, and they are the most underserved. And so for us, we're like, oh gosh, this is a cool problem for us to solve. And that's, anything from housing insecurity, food insecurity, just that lack of connection, which really can push people to dementia faster. And so just, how are we keeping people engaged? And there's a lot, we're it. Yeah. We are it in the county. And so
how do people find out, just like prior to coming together, How are people finding out? Like, how are you getting to your audience to make sure that they knew that you had the resources that you have available?
Yeah, I mean, so what's one of the challenges I think for senior population is a lot of folks don't look for the resources until they need them.
Yeah.
And so what I learned early on at Big Sky, and I think it's really true for what I've experienced with our merged organization with Allies, was most of the folks come to us in a crisis. And so they're looking for you, or it's a referral from the hospital, a doctor, another caregiver in the community, adult protective services, something like that.
Yeah.
And so,
or a caregiver
themselves. Yeah. Yeah. So we get those folks that way. What we really want to see happen is the community to just be more aware of how we can age well in our community and how to get these services to the folks earlier. Erika was just talking about it. Social isolation is huge for seniors. And it actually, the stat that she was talking about, we actually see dementia come on earlier for folks that don't have good connection.
Interesting.
And so we're actually wanting to prevent some of the crisis situations that we see by connecting folks earlier. But yes, most folks came through us either in crisis or from a referral is where we would see a lot of folks come to us. So
we'd love to have them a little bit earlier. The social piece, I think, is huge. Especially like Billings is big, but not in Yellowstone County, but I think we're all still pretty close in proximity-ish. So
yeah. Something that we're looking to do to help with that and secure that more is centralizing our intake. So that's another really cool part of this merger is that now people aren't like they're not going to Big Sky and going to the Alliance and trying to figure out what kind of resources are available to them. But I think a big part, I mean, we've got Tyler, who's incredible at talking about this in the community. And so that's another goal for us in the next year is that people know who we are and what we do and how to access us, and that we make that as easy as possible for caregivers and older adults. And
So you guys were talking about merge and using the merge word.
Yes.
So what led to that for the two of you, right? So you're both leading these separate organizations, entities. You obviously probably work together in some capacities. I feel like a lot of people in those like nonprofit spaces know of what each other's doing as referral basis. But what spurred and started that conversation between the two of you?
Yeah, it didn't start with us.
No, it started a long time before us. And I think there was always this kind of buzz in the community about like, would these two orgs merge? One of the things to really recognize is both organizations worked really close together to pass the senior mill levies that Erika talked about. So there was always these questions of like, our fundings are similar. Why not work together? I think the timing was what really made it happen. The groups had talked about it. We had good leadership on both our boards at the time. And then changes in transitions in leadership. So we had longtime directors of both those organizations that built them up strong. But we knew as we were seeing changes, it was time. And so we started a conversation, the two of us, really.
Yeah.
So
like I think maybe at McKenzie River.
Yep.
On a napkin.
Yep.
Like kind of just
I love that.
Totally on the back of a napkin, sort of what could this look like and what would the benefits be and does it make sense? And, it was complex because.
Yeah, like what were those things? Because I think merging is like, it sounds like cool, right? It's like, oh, they merged or like, oh, wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Like they're merging things, but there's like details and it's technical. There's a lot.
Sure.
It's technical and emotional.
Yes.
I think that's what made this work. And I brag about the board, the leadership, the boards and such of this.
Because you both have separate boards, right?
Yeah. So there were two boards. There were two executive directors. There were two leadership teams. There were two of everything, and so it took a lot of emotional intelligence, I guess is the best way to say it, to be able to sit at the table together and say, I'm not going to have any stake. I just want this to work. Yep. I want this to work really well so that we serve more people in our community is stronger. But the complexities were tremendous. I mean, we did a timeline. I did a timeline.
Which is like good for historical reference.
Yeah. And also for us to be like, go on vacation, guys. Because it has been, October 29th or do I have that date right?
October 29th was the first time we met at Rock 31.
Oh yeah, we met up
upstairs,
here at Rock 31 with a consultant.
That. Okay.
Yeah.
The two of you.
The two of us. Just to be like, is this something we actually want to bring to the boards do we have a business case?
And that meeting, what I loved when we talked, because when you think about mergers individually as a entity, the two questions I had in my head the whole time were, one, it has to be missional because it's a nonprofit, right? So if there's a reason we should stay separate to keep serving our populations, let's do it. But when Eric and I sat down, it really quickly became clear we've got a huge population growth happening with older adults. That's just how the demographics work right now. There's finite resources. Mm-hmm. And both of us had hit some barriers at the size of our organizations that we knew we needed to overcome. So we needed more robust grant writing. We needed more robust fundraising to match. We needed the programs to be more aligned so the seniors could call that one-stop shop too. Mm-hmm. And those came out in that meeting we did here really quickly. Both of us could identify like, this is here. And it actually, I remember ending that meeting thinking like the emotional piece of me was like, oh, my organization, I might have to let that go. But dang, if we do this, like there's a huge possibility for our community to benefit, and especially the seniors we're serving.
Mm-hmm. Which I think is a huge testament. Clearly, we've met a couple of times, but to like the people you both are, to say like egos and personal things aside, like what's best for the people we're serving. And I think that's a huge thing that you guys did. That's like legacy, that you'll leave a huge legacy that you guys did merge, because I think sometimes egos get in the way of things. You know?
Yeah, you're right. And we had a lot of very transparent conversations about that. Tyler and I got to know each other really well over the last year. We've spent a lot of time together, but had some very, transparent conversations about like, this is hard. We might even say this is hard because I have to put my ego aside right now.
It's like big stuff you're talking about.
Yeah, but really, we know that communities that serve older adults really well typically serve everyone really well. Mm-hmm. And so we know that this is that important. Yep. We're onto something here that's going to build other systems. These people built
our community.
Yeah. Build other systems. So
and that gets into one of the other big things that we talked about, which was age friendly. Like this whole community, what can we do to make it friendly to age here? And all ages, how does that fit in so that we feel like we can experience our whole lives in this place and have fun and engage and have friends and not get isolated, or if life changes, find new friends and reconnect with folks. And so that our opportunities are huge now because we have multiple sites and lots of ways to do that. So
wow. And there's like purpose and people can get connected. So you guys started by having a meeting and a conversation.
And
then what's on the timeline? Let's hear it.
Yeah. And then, there's several, like we had to get our executive committees. We had to get some buy-in. So we had several different meetings there and
a little bit of the question of like, we think this is a good idea, but we also know how much work this is going to be.
Right.
Are you all on board? Because we needed our executive committees and our boards to go. Yeah, we can do this.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. So, and then and we had probably what we refer to as that kind of an epic board meeting. Never seen one like it. I don't know that I ever will again.
Yeah, I'm like, let's hear it.
But we got, we got all. It was in the winter. It was in December. We got both boards together.
It snowed like crazy, of course, on that day.
No, of course it did.
Of course. Presented our business case again to them as a full group. And I only spent about 3 hours together. And on that day, each board met separately then in different rooms and came back with a unanimous vote to merge. And it was tears for me in the room because just watching this group of people come together for this purpose was incredible.
It was epic.
It was epic.
It was one of those things that nonprofit leaders are probably going to bug me and Erika about for a while. Like, how did you do it?
Yeah.
But part of it is like, there's the magic of that moment of boards were aligned, leaders were aligned. Like we were all in that space together. And I still remember even some of our leadership team, what they said in that meeting. They said really cool visionary kind of things about the population. And so I'll remember that for a long time. We're trying to dig up the picture the other day because it's somewhere in one of our phones. And so,
what a big moment.
Yeah.
I mean, and that everyone's like, even the team, I think that's like knowing that you're like, you are onto something.
Yeah. And it was not easy. I mean, it hasn't been easy. Yeah. From December then till May.
Yeah.
it was like literal, just head underwater.
I want to know the process for people listening, right? Well, it's like, how do you even go about that, especially in a nonprofit world? Then you have 2 boards, or you merging to one board, like what, so all the details.
Brag a little bit first before we move on there though. Yeah. Like before we met with our boards, we actually got our leadership kind of together and had the more programmatic conversation, which at the time seemed like a small thing, but it was huge in the long run.
Yeah, probably the biggest payoff.
Detailed logistics.
Yeah. And so just a reminder too, like I've seen a lot of nonprofits do this where it's just the 2 executive directors and the board, but you got to get those folks involved who actually know how things work as appropriately and early as possible.
Yeah.
Because a week after the meeting we had with both boards, we had to inform all the staff before the community found out, so the staff could hear it from us. And that communication timeline was so important because if we didn't do that, there's that sense of mistrust that can happen with your teams of like, how's this happening and why is it happening? Especially because our merger was so positive of both financially stable organizations coming together. So, but then we had to jump into all the like, how do you make this
logistics
work?
of a business merger, because we just essentially merged it's just like merging any business entity, nonprofit or not. But then we had these 2 boards. We had to figure out how to do that. But we hired an attorney, so that's one of the first things we did.
Okay,
was onboard an attorney to help us. Kept that leadership cohesiveness. I'm really proud that I will go on stand and say that Allies has the strongest leadership team around. I mean, like crazy good, smart people who just dug in. And so we kept that going. And then there was just a massive amount of decisions to make. So some of that was, how are we going to form a board? Which what we ended up doing is sort of, some were terming out from Big Sky, some were terming out from the Alliance. So they were gone, and then we combined, and then there was a few that they're moving. And so we had our first Allies and Aging board meeting today.
Oh my gosh.
This morning.
It was really cool.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And in the midst of all of that, we did a remodel. We got a new roof on one of our buildings.
How many buildings do you guys have?
2.
And where are they in city limits?
Yeah. So one's at 1505 Avenue D, right behind West Park Plaza.
Yep.
And the other one's at 935 Lake Elmo Drive. And I'm just going to brag for a quick second.
Was that the Big Sky Senior
Service? That was where Big Sky was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
But we didn't own the building. We actually were renting from the Alliance. So it worked out perfect.
So you guys owned it anyways.
Oh yeah. It worked perfect.
Okay.
But both those locations, what I'm bragging about now is you can go into either one and get services. Like we're ready to go with the staff we have.
Right.
So
it's pretty awesome. So gosh, I don't know. What else did we do, Tyler? We didn't sleep much. We had to redo an org chart. We had to figure out.
Well, even just like the program, like there's a lot of details of like, how do you now work together? And like, you know, sounds really cool, but there's like logistics, right? And like partnerships, and you're like, how can we really leverage this merge and relationship?
And I think that, I mean, that's the thing that's still playing out, right? So like we had a great team to plan, like Lori Poole, our nutrition and facilities director, like figured out the move for us, right? Like, how do you like mark each desk to make sure it lands in the right office? Kristen Rose, our HR person, figured out all of the like financial pieces for payroll and like how do we pay people and this new support. I mean, that was a lot of work.
Even like visit, like where are people sitting? Like what building are they in? Like they care about that.
It's actually a very big deal.
We sat with a map and like, does this person fit here? And
it's like easy if you were just doing desks, but then when you add names and like that's
a great point. Yeah.
Well, then you got to figure out, make sure the phones all go the right place too.
Yeah.
Which
we're getting very close.
We're very
quickly
close.
Though, from December to May, like that's fast.
Yes. And we had people say, you can't do this. You can't pull this off. And we're like, we can do this. And it's going to be better for the team and better for the people we serve.
You just do it quickly.
To just get this done.
Yeah, because otherwise you draw it out, it gets confusing for folks. They're like, where are we going? And confusion's already existed. So now that we're together, makes it a lot easier. But all those logistics, you know, and then since I've named a couple of team members, I might as well name like Jason Rodriguez, our finance director, has to like figure out the finance, like
how do you blend these
budgets?
Chart of accounts and budgets?
And we're still in that.
You're getting
process,
different funding from
like,
state, fed, county, like that. Just
we had to talk to grant funders of ongoing grants and make sure that stuff transitioned appropriately.
Wow, that's
picking which EIN number you keep, all that kind of stuff too, right? But again, I will emphasize one of the things that makes it successful. Eric and I couldn't have done it without a consultant to help us like push through the process. So you need some outside help besides your legal person to help kind of guide, like, here's how you put some pieces together on the like financials, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it was really helpful. We couldn't have done all that.
And then I got Evelyn Dempsey, our community services director, has taken most of the Big Sky programs under her umbrella,
as well as the Alliance
and the Alliance existing ones.
Wow.
I mean, that's the piece. That's the challenging part, is how do you get a team cohesively to work together? And we're in the midst of it right now, but we're doing great, honestly. Folks are learning how to even just talk to each other, right? Like we're trying to figure out how to go across the hall and say hi
to a new team.
Totally. What do you do is one of the questions we keep telling our staff. Ask each other.
Be curious.
What do you do? Yeah. So there's no reason you can't ask those questions, but all those details happen. But if you don't keep checking in with the team, and Erika did a great job of pulling us together and saying, where are we at? How are we doing? What fights do we need to have today? What things do we need to let go of and keep moving on? That kind of stuff. So,
And where did the name come from? Because you guys, like, you had separate Adult Resource Alliance and Big Sky Senior Services.
Yeah,
and everybody had an opinion on what we should be.
Yeah. Which we knew. Have you done? If you've done a rebrand, you know it's just like, oh my goodness. You know, you go.
Or we moved into here even, so which was also
you just know. It's just people have ideas, and we had at that point. Oh my gosh, Tyler, how many people? We had 2 boards making decisions, kind of, and so like 30 people. So that was a really interesting process. But that's something else we did between December and May as a rebrand. So again, we pulled in someone who is an expert. We raised some money for these merger expenses also, but we pulled someone in, did a rebrand. Both organizations were pretty clear that what we needed was a new name, just to kind of say we're here in a different way.
Yep.
And so that process was just a really cool focus group process that our consultant led the team through, mostly community members and some board members through.
And that was a great process. Actually, I think in some ways for some team building too, for folks to say, like, this is what's important about us. We also learned this really cool thing in the process that often nonprofits use a pretty passive voice to talk about our services. Like, we may be able to help you, or we might have that service, instead of saying confidently, this is what we do.
We've got it.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's one of the things we're actually working with our team on now, is like, this is what we do. But the name got voted on by the new board before they were a board. We actually had to pull them together
to say, here's this big decision we have to make. No big deal.
And you're members of both boards, so this makes sense to be the group you use. Yeah. But we had to say, like, we need you to make this call because we can make it in July, but we need to start the branding now. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did do that.
Remember all that?
Yeah. Tyler and I joke about, when we write the book, like, we have some pretty funny chapters that we've identified, because it's like, oh my gosh, the snowstorm chapter where we had all these meetings and every time was like a snowstorm.
Because it's February in Montana, right? Like, there's definitely a chapter. Erika, at one point, I remember she turned to us when we first got our leadership together back in March, and she's like, drink water. And I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, you need to drink water all the way through this process.
Good reminder.
Good mom advice, right?
Yeah. So interesting too, the background story behind all of this is my dad got sick in February too. I don't know if Erika remember this. So, and so I'm part of that sandwich generation of folks that we're also supporting that are caregivers. So my dad got sick, so I had to figure out care for him, and we've been navigating his health stuff in the background. So I'm thinking about all the folks who are going to go serve while I'm doing this. Like, I got to make sure I keep learning about this so that when we get together, we can talk about all the stuff we've got to do. But life happened at the same time is the other thing to remember. Like,
which it seems to always, like, when it rains, it pours.
Kind of.
For sure.
And good things and, like challenging things that you're like, you look back and you're like, oh my gosh, how did I do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And Allies and Aging, was that like the one that really rose, or were there a few in the top 3?
That's the one that really rose.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
And our consultant actually came back, and that was what they offered us after that process. It was this really cool, like, sat down and we're like, Erika and I looked at each other first. We're like, is that the name? And then we started like thinking about it, and I could tell.
Really excited.
Okay, wait a second. This means everyone who's a part of our organization is now an ally. So even the clients are allies, right? Like they get to help us figure out how we create aging well in our community. So
inspiring.
Yeah.
It is.
Really,
and I think
really
it
inspiring.
means something deep, right? Like it's not just like a name, which is cool, but it's like you guys are doing like really mission driven work with what you're doing.
And that was the goal. We wanted something aspirational. We didn't want to just say what we did, but our tagline is senior services lifelong support. And so we're excited to get out and really embody what that is in our community now too. So.
And how are your not your clients or I'm not sure what you call
clients
them.
Is great.
Yeah. Like how have they been
great
to this? I bet they're
phenomenal.
like thrilled right? They're like, oh my gosh, one place for these great resources that I need.
And I will say just on a real practical side, some of it's like, we don't know if we need to know the name, but we need to know you're going to keep serving us, right?
For the most part, I think that's been the experience is like, let us know that we can get served the way that we need to. And there has not been, I don't think we've skipped a beat. Nope. I'm really proud of the team.
We've done amazing.
Yeah, I'm really proud of the team for that.
I mean, there's lots of ways balls can get dropped in that transition process, and we've found ways to overcome that. And that's the exhausting part, actually, is our teams have had to like, who's carrying that right now? And if they're not, hey, by the way, over here, flag me down and make sure you know you're carrying that.
Yeah.
But
that's really nice that they've taken that on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a
it.
massive shout out to the team. I mean, to the team as a whole. Really important to us at Allies is that we're building a company that not only are we serving older adults well, but people who work on the team, who are on the Allies team, also are thriving at work.
Yeah.
And so, this has been an incredibly difficult change and has been handled with grace and resilience and honesty.
Yeah.
Which I've really appreciated. And so I think, it's another good reason for the name because it's inspiring to come to work. It feels like I want to do this today. Yes,
and they've
I can
been
do
part
that.
of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Like they've been part of that. And I think that your people are your biggest allies.
Totally.
Not to like,
not
That
to
was a
like,
great-
not to da-da-da.
Did you hear that, Erika?
But
That's another way we can talk about it right there.
Yes.
There you go. Sound bite.
Yeah. So.
Brought to you by me.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, so the whole process has been phenomenal. The team has done an awesome job. I also have to say, I want to just comment back on the board. What a unique group of individuals who said yes to this. And even the board members this morning, like just our first board meeting, I was struck by the talent of the boards coming together that we now have. And what is so cool, they're an excited, ready to go group. We've got these folks that kind of have peripherally dropped away off the boards, but they're not gone, right? Like there's this huge kind of like lift of support from that group too. So I'm excited to see
an engaged board.
That engagement from not just the board, but the folks that have maybe stepped away just a little bit to see how we can keep things going with that whole community around that. So,
which is clearly a testament to both of you and your leadership that your board's like, things line up, right? Like right time. But I think that it'd be missed if it's a huge credit to the work and the hustle that you've put into all of this to happen for the community.
Yeah, we've started a movement.
You have, which is exciting. So what are some things, I know you guys rolled out the brand in May. We're in summer. Like what are you guys working on now which I know like you're still in the thick of merging, right? But what are some of those things that you're excited about?
Yeah. I mean, this is a really, part of it is like, let's take a beat.
Oh, 100%.
And that is just my last message I sent out as the CEO, like, hey, thanks for everything. It's okay to take a beat. And like Tyler, take some time. Erika, take some time off, all of us just to kind of sit back and reflect on what we've done. There's a lot to do. So we're evaluating programs right now. Our priority is looking at what do we have and what do we need to grow. For the most part right now, it's integration, it's culture. And so how do you it's 100% change management because now we've all landed. So you got to let things settle a little bit and kind of see like what's going to play out and who needs more support in what area. And that takes time. And so it's mostly right now about, we just need more potlucks.
The dance might be a little awkward for a little bit.
Yeah. We're stepping on toes and, it's a little weird and we don't know where the coffee is or whatever. But so really, I'm like, we just need a couple more potlucks and that's our goal over the summer.
Yep.
We're doing some really big planning as an organization, come late fall. And so, we have lots to do, but right now I want people to celebrate.
Which
is a nice thing to hear from the ED,
high five each other and like go grab a lunch out of the building.
And be proud of it. So what are some things as leaders of these different organizations that you learned about yourself through this process?
Oh,
what a great question.
And it's okay to brag or be, we know we're all humble, but what are some things that you learned about yourself?
I mean, so Eric and I, it's actually been fun for us because it's been this back and forth, like with each other of like, your skill is this, your skill is this, like, let's keep going. Man, I will push myself to the bitter edge without like letting it go. And somebody has to go, stop. Like, I almost need someone to flag me down is what I've learned in the process is like, nope, like you've done everything you need to do. Leave it there. Like, and I can think of several examples where it's like, I'm trying to get as much done as fast as we can. And you just can't sometimes get it all done in that week. So, and so there was a couple of times Erica was like, let's make this a 2-stage thing. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds so good. Like way better than trying to get it all done right now. Like, thank you for permission to make this a 2-stage project. We still got there. But we needed that extra time. And also for me, trying to get people that you barely know to work with you too. And so I've learned a lot about myself of like how to introduce yourself the first time and look at some of those meetings with folks and re-engage folks. And I'm not a person who likes that first interaction. Like, that's never my favorite one. And so it takes me a little time. And so making sure folks know that their first interaction with me is maybe not always my favorite one.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. Those are a few things, but what about you, Erica?
I think similarly, I just run at a really fast pace. And that's not always what's best. And so this was a great exercise in really paying attention to that. But also, I've built my career. It's really fun to be where I'm at because in this position where I'm at, I have very intentionally put together things because I've always felt like I wanted to make a big difference. Didn't really know what that meant. Didn't know how I was going to do that. But I've been able to, so I can stand where I am now and look and be like, I put all this together and I have a lot more to learn and I make mistakes all the time. So I'm not saying I'm done learning, but I am able to put everything, all of my experiences from the private sector, from coaching, from doing, I did hands-on sitting on the floor work with babies as a social worker, so I've been able to take all of that and put it into something that matters so much. And then, so for me, I learned that is very important to me. And that one of my values, have you ever done Strengths Finder?
Oh yeah, I love
okay. So we've
stuff.
we've all done them all,
team,
right?
Actually, I couldn't tell you their top 5, but I can tell you their domains.
Yeah,
sure.
So I can't remember the exact word for this, but one of my top strength was recognition, or maybe that wasn't that's
individualization.
No, something that to me felt like, oh, that's so like grow, like not like doesn't feel humble or something. But really what it means is that what I love is to work on really important things with really smart people. And so this is like a dream, honestly, a dream come true to me that I'm like, because the leadership team's so good, the board's so good. And I'm able to show up in the way that I want to, like very authentically as a leader, just to set a tone where people don't hate work.
Yeah.
And it's really cool.
I feel like there's really good energy between the two of you, which is fun because I think that when you find that in a workplace, like you kind of find that like duo or you are the duo that like you set an energy and a tone for the rest of the team that like everyone's excited. They want to be engaged and they're like coming up. And if you give them, which it sounds like both of you do, kind of like the creative freedom to be like, okay, what do you think this should look like? It's your thing. Like, take it, go with it. Like, we'll support you, within reason of the work that you just will see things like
innovation.
Yes.
Like total innovation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And you guys, because you're now working together daily. What is that? What are our new CEO?
Yeah.
So, again, there's some moments that work out. So Erika had an opening for a development person at the Adult Resource Alliance when we did the merging process. And so there was a space for me too. So that's another thing to keep in mind is there's a lot of key moments that worked well for us to make this team work.
Yeah.
But
Tyler's talking really small here. So he didn't, so Tyler's role is the mission or director of mission and development.
That's a big role.
Yeah. So it's not just quote, I'm doing air quotes, raising money. It's Tyler's really responsible for educating the community about what we do, getting people engaged in our mission, bringing allies in, whether they're giving us money or they're volunteering. And so, and then also plays a big part in something we're excited about, which is advocacy. So at the state and national level, we both combined as separate organizations haven't done we just haven't had the resources.
You're just running the organization.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
You're just trying to do what you said, what you promised the community.
Trying to make sure the seniors are getting their services was what most of our predecessors could do, actually.
Right, exactly. And so Tyler will be doing a fair amount of that advocacy work and we're excited about that.
Yes, definitely. And that gives us the potential for more people in the community to know about us. And for us, that was the other thing. This merger was such about, we want to be a leader in aging services in the state. And so it gives us this huge attitude.
In the nation.
In the nation.
I love it.
Yeah.
Like,
See, I love it.
Think big, think big. So you guys are doing that. I love the advocacy thing because I think that being a little more engaged in the legislative session this past session was interesting because I was like, okay, this is interesting. But to have people and have the time that you can then go and advocate on behalf of our community or the region on the things that you guys are doing is game changing.
And a lot of the big picture work is statewide. Aging services haven't been able to get super organized to do that work. And there was also a transition of a lot of leadership about 5 to 6 years ago that used to do a lot of that. And so rebuilding those networks right now is part of what we're excited about. It's time.
When you've got a great story, a great brand, and your services that you're providing to the community are, wow. So are there some events and other things that you guys are working on keeping?
Yes.
Or working on. I mean like that you're working on ones that you're like, we're really going to keep that because it makes sense. But knowing now that you're allies in aging, you can say, hey, this one it's not really worth the time. The money that what you get out of it isn't worth the staff and time that we have to put into it.
So we're looking at all of our fundraising events right now, but right now this year we're going to keep the Rockin' under the Big Sky event for allies in aging. And it's going to be happening on September 12th at the zoo.
Cool.
We're so excited about it because it'll be what we've seen before, which is great food from our kitchen team who works so hard on it. It's going to be a silent auction and auction that have just incredible stuff at it. So really encourage folks to come for that reason. And then afterwards, because it's 70s theme, because we started in the 70s. So 50 years later, we got to celebrate. We're going to get bell bottoms. We're going to get sequins.
Heck yeah.
And anybody can come join us from 8 to 10 for $20 to do some dancing disco.
How fun.
Yeah.
See, we have disco stuff in here.
I love it.
Yes.
Listeners, you can't see it, but we have disco mushrooms, disco balls.
Disco mushrooms.
We might need those for the tables
elephant.
there.
Yeah, happily.
We want to include everybody who's interested in supporting this great work. And so we'd love to see folks just come out for that what we're calling the after party.
I love it. That makes it sound like, everyone wants an after party to the party.
Well,
and it happens to be from 8 to 10 because we all need to be in bed by 10.
Yeah, we need to be done by 10, but unfortunately.
When we say after party.
I think after party at 8 is great.
But we're being age inclusive there because we want everybody to come out. I love it. I love it.
So you talked about earlier about 300 volunteers, knowing you probably had some too. How can people get involved with what you guys are doing and volunteer? I know there's board opportunities probably in the future, but tell us about that.
I mean, I think personally, just give us a call first of all and kind of ask us that question because there's so many different ways to get involved. But I always think it's great when someone calls if they've thought just a little bit about are they looking for every month, once a month? Are they looking for a one-off activity? Are they wanting to do this weekly engagement where you do a Meals on Wheels delivery, which is really rewarding because you get to know your folks that you take to serve? Is there a specific
build relationships, which would be so like if you have that
So
time,
cool.
like you're retired or something, like you were talking about.
And there's also then specific things folks can do. So if they really like to help people shop at the grocery store, we have a ability for folks to go buy groceries for someone and help them do that.
Yeah,
piece.
or give rides. I
Yep.
mean, that's a big program for us where volunteers give people rides, because who doesn't, like for a Target run.
Absolutely.
I love to go on a Target run, but if you can't drive yourself to get there, then you're stuck at home, right? And so, there's lots of ways. I would say just give a call and ask for Erin, who is our volunteer manager.
She's
And
phenomenal.
she can help. And I'm
She's
assuming
so-
organizations can, like that's maybe individually, but I'm guessing organizations can call and say, hey, we want to do a team thing. How can we come in and help do it? Right.
And our team in the midst of all this has already tried one, and we've got a few others coming. So like we're figuring out what we're going to do to offer those. But yes, we definitely love working with organizations. Also, the other things we offer orgs are trainings. So Dementia Friendly Billings is a training we offer to orgs. It's like 30 minutes, and they can get to know about what dementia is and how to support people who might come into their business, but also just some basic information for folks to help care for the community around aging and memory loss.
And are these at one of the sites?
This is actually something
guys
we'll go to
host or-
businesses to do.
Okay.
Yeah, come to your team and do that, which is great.
Yeah.
And we offer them the whole care partner support side of what we do. We offer in both buildings. And that, that touches businesses very closely, because so many people are caregiving at home for a parent or a spouse or whatever. And they're working and trying to continue to caregive. It's really, really challenging. So our care partner program, also we offer peer support groups. We offer some different kinds of educating in there. And so that's another way for people to connect in and learn more.
Yeah. It's a piece we're going to have to look at more and more, because there's more and more caregivers in the community that are needing that support. So
that's amazing that you guys do that.
Yeah.
Are there things that I didn't ask about that I should have asked about that you're like, hi, we also do this. Why didn't you ask about it? You guys are doing so many cool things too.
So you were asking about like the other fundraisers like that Big Sky had at one point. I didn't really finish that question, I think, for you. But we are like evaluating how we are as an agency moving ahead with all that stuff. And so if businesses that have worked with us in the past are curious, I'd encourage them to reach out to us.
Yeah.
We're ready to have those conversations just to say, this is where we're at. But we've had incredible support from the community so far. So we want to keep that going. And so just would really encourage folks to say and be curious with us right now. What's happening? Where are we headed? Those kind of things. So
I like that. And I think people, it's right now you guys are in such a great time to reflect and look at some of those things. You've rebranded, you've merged to say like, hi, what really makes sense for allies in aging today? We might have done really cool things in the past and those are great memories, but what can we do now moving forward?
Yeah. And, we run a business.
You do.
And so we look at what's our return on the events. And Tyler and I did that sort of early on to make a decision like, let's stick with this one event this year and make this really cool and have a disco.
Yeah. No, I love
I mean, hello.
I love a disco moment. Yeah.
I think I would want to talk about you alluded to it, Tyler, but the powerful coming together that we have now where we're going to be able to serve way more people and way more people who can't afford
agreed
in-home services. I mean, if you
look,
expensive, it's expensive.
Like, wow.
Yeah. Any kind of long-term care. And I think what we say the other day, 11 long-term care facilities in our state have closed to date.
And it's actually up to 15 in the last 6 years here.
So 15. I mean, so what that means is that people don't have anywhere to go, or they can't afford somebody to come in and help them do things like dress or bathe. And so it's a big focus for us. And how are we serving? There's a lot of people that can come in for meals. There's a lot of people who get the Meals on Wheels. And also there's a group of people that we will not forget.
Agreed.
Yeah.
That can very easily be invisible, that are really top priority for us.
And so, Marcel, I think the two things Eric and I talked about and that we'll be looking at with some of that is housing and transportation are huge issues for our seniors in our community. And so we're working with a coalition that's got the hospitals and Healthy by Design from Riverstone involved. And so we'll be looking at those, but
I think
expect to hear more.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing at the state legislature sessions too. Like my husband works in LIHTC, so affordable housing. And I think those projects are amazing, but there's only so many that are awarded in the state.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To get those tax credits and even to do those projects, you have to pull so many. I talk like I know a lot about it. I know like surface level stuff.
But you're right.
But it's like those are the things during sessions that are so important because you have like populations that need more of that affordable type housing. That how can we make that more accessible and more, just that there could be more in our state, because when you award like up to 5 across the state of Montana, like we might not even get one over here.
Right.
And the subtle challenges in our community around housing right now are just rental rates, because a lot of seniors do rent and they're slowly
like on Social
climbing.
Security and
fixed
things
income. So they're being displaced or not paying other bills or not eating right because they need to pay their rent.
Yep.
And it happens, and they are such proud, awesome people.
Yeah.
That they won't tell anybody they're having problems until they don't think they're at that crisis moment. And like, it's okay to say, oh my gosh, I think I'm about to get priced out of my place, and tell somebody about it. I need help with it.
Help.
So,
and to know that they can come to you to maybe help more early on.
Yes,
yeah.
definitely.
We talk about the population like they, and this is, in my past jobs, I, for the most part, I hadn't been incarcerated. So when I worked with people who were incarcerated, I was like, I have not done that. I was not homeless. I've not ever been without a home. So I hadn't had that experience. But we are all aging.
Yes.
So we say they, it's like when you.
That's going to be
we are. I mean, you start, you are born and you start aging. And so for us to think of it that way, especially I think like in a session in Helena, like you're making decisions right now for what you're going to need in 15 years or 20 years or 10 or 5 or whatever. So this is the first time in my work where I've been able to say everything I do directly affects my parents, my friends, and all of us, everyone, and
kids.
Me and my kids. Yeah.
And it's been so true in my experience in this work so far, because I know that we've served previous board members through our services, that we've served previous staff. Like, it's very true to the fact that we are creating the things that will support people later in life.
And support us, Tyler.
Us later in life.
Supporting us. Well, it's been so great to have you guys on and to hear what's going on with Allies in Aging, hear a little bit more about the merge and what you have coming soon. We like to end each episode with a few rapid fire questions. So my first one, knowing that you guys are very service oriented people, you're doing a lot, you're giving a lot. What's something you're like, maybe a daily or weekly little thing that you do for yourself, for your health?
So helpful. So I swim. So
I love that.
I am trying to swim 100 miles this year, and I'm a little bit behind.
I gotta
get going. But I swim a mile twice a week.
That's amazing.
And I love it because it's a moment at which like everything kind of dies away because the water just takes care of it. So,
and where do you swim?
The YMCA.
Cool. Okay. I didn't know if you were an outside swimmer and fared the weather or.
I wish I had the energy to like figure out how to like switch to the Rose Park pool in the summer or something. But like timing wise, like amazing. The Y's open and ready to go. So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
A swimmer. Erika, what about you?
Anything outside. So for me, outdoors is medicine. And I live in a great place where I have access to the outdoors. And so anytime I'm in my kayak on the water or on a hiking trail, or I took up mountain biking a couple years ago, which is terrifying.
Yeah, that terrifies me a little.
Yes. But I've done this.
It looks cool, but I'm like, I don't know, not for me.
So just anything outside is really right now the moments that I have to do that or what are refilling my bucket.
So you are mountain biking now? Mm-hmm. We have not talked about this.
Don't tell Jason.
I won't.
This is very, okay.
Our finance director is always like, don't die, Erika, I know, because this would be bad. Don't be dumb. Yeah. And I'm not dumb.
So you're not.
I wear helmets.
Good,
I know my limitations for the most part.
That you don't push it too far. Yeah. So okay, my next question is, and I'm excited to hear your answers. If you had to describe Montana's nonprofit community, what would you say?
Disjointed.
Yeah, I agree.
Potential.
Yeah, there's a huge potential and
some opportunity.
We've got some great nonprofits in Montana, like unique ones. I will say one of the things I really noticed when I entered the sector was this weird competition for the financial resources. And of course there is competition for every financial resource. I get that. Mm-hmm. But that competition would also drive disconnection for services for the folks we're trying to help. And that's where it just irks me. Like I'm like, we cannot.
Why are we doing what we're doing?
We cannot afford to do that for our communities. It's a waste of people's resources then. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like we're wasting the dollars we've been entrusted with. So just I think in the nonprofit community, the character is we've got to overcome that. I'm starting to see that though. Like I'm starting to see some changes in leadership in other places, but just really encourage the nonprofit community for connection right now.
Connection, and I think one thing in Montana is the nonprofit sector is looked at like we're just nice people doing good work. Yes. It's like we're running multi-million-dollar companies. Actually, is what we're doing, and
with
so
like unique funding streams.
Very
right?
unique.
Like you're dealing with government at different levels.
Yes, I mean it's very dynamic. I have 17 bosses on a board. It's really complex, and so I think that's one thing in Montana that I continue to hope can get better is like we're running businesses. We employ almost 80 people.
That's a lot.
And 300 plus volunteers. And so there's a lot of community engagement and a lot of benefit. But I think being treated as business is something that I think we lack in.
And we don't strive for excellence then because of that. I think is one of the challenges.
Like a good guy doing a good thing.
Yeah.
Instead of like a business person,
you know, like they're really doing big things, which I think you are. Mm-hmm. My last question is, what's some of the best advice you've ever received?
Oh, this is so funny that this is what came up for me. My dad's going to love this. And it's really like terrible advice, but it got me through a lot of things.
I can't wait to hear it.
It is because we joke about it now, me and my sisters and my parents, but it was suck it up. You know, like I learned, and now I'm like, I don't ever say that to people, like suck it up. But what I learned from that was own your stuff. I trust you. I believe in you. You can do this. But I wouldn't say that that's the best advice I've gotten, but I interpreted it into.
And it propelled you in ways that
many ways.
It does. I get it. Cause I'm like, I could hear my dad's maybe said something similar to me, but it's like, they just believe in you so much that they're like, you got it. Like,
you got this. Now stop feeling sorry for yourself.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Mine has to be that idea that you're not done. So I had somebody tell me early on in my career, like you don't know where you're going to end up. And you're not done until you choose to be. And so like, I had no idea I would be sitting here doing this with this merger process with Erika, right? My dream was to run a Methodist congregation in Montana and do it well. Right. Yeah. And I loved doing that work and it was good people. Mm-hmm. But for some reason I landed in this space and recognized like we couldn't have done this without the process and the people we have. And so that's been cool to see.
And maybe I just need a lot more God in my life. And so he's like, here's Tyler. I'm going to put him in an office next to you.
But I was so
certain people in life for a reason.
Right. But there was a piece of me that was so advocacy driven, even in my pastoral work, that I'm like, oh, of course I wasn't done. Right. Like I needed to get into this because this is where people are getting the care they need and connecting to the services. But not only that, there's people in this work that care so deeply that I'm like, oh, no, duh. I get to support them. Like, this is cool. So I'm not done, apparently.
No, no, you're way too young. Like, no. Yeah. Okay, where can people connect with you guys and learn more about Allies in Aging, website, social?
So we are still working hard on stuff, but we do have our URL. So alliesinaging.org. You'll land there right now and still get directed to 2 different web pages, but soon. I promise.
Well, like building a website, it's like we redid like ours and that took a year. Oh, you know, like it's a whole job.
We're in process, but we're going to get there. And so alliesinaging.org is where we're at. 2 locations in town, 1505 Avenue D and 935 Lake Elmo Drive. And you can call us at 406-259-9666.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, thank you both for being on The Vault sharing a little bit about what you're doing at Allies in Aging.
Thanks for having us on. This was
questions.
Awesome.
It was good. Bye. Thanks for listening to The Vault. Connect with us on Facebook at The Vault at 201 North Broadway or Instagram at TheVault_201. Or check us out on our website, thevault@201.com, where you can subscribe to our weekly newsletter. See you next time.